You're doing everything they told you, right? You got out the lattes, you're trying to build a side hustle, you're staring at your credit card bills just hoping they'll magically disappear. You're following all the rules from the world's most famous financial gurus. But then you look at your bank account and it feels like you're just running on a treadmill. You feel stuck, broke even. That's because you are broke. And listen, that's not all your fault. The truth is, a lot of the advice from these big name gurus is stuck in the 1990s. And here, in 2026, that advice isn't just old, it's dangerous. It's a map to a place that doesn't exist anymore, for an economy that has completely changed. So today, I'm going to tear down the 3 biggest financial myths that are holding you back. Yes, I'll be naming the names, showing the math, and giving you the new rules you need to actually get ahead in today's world. The first and maybe the most damaging myth comes from the godfather of the "your house is an asset" philosophy, Robert Kiyosaki. For decades, Rich Dad Poor Dad has been the go-to book preaching that real estate is the key to wealth. Grant Cardone screams the same thing from his private jet, that you need to 10x your life with property. That message is pretty simple. Renting is just throwing money away. You have to buy a house because property values only go up, and that was a fantastic advice if you bought a house in 1985. But in 2026, it's a trap. And let's be real about 2026. After a wild period of inflation, interest rates have settled down, but they're never going back to those historic lows we once saw. Mortgage rates are in a range that makes buying a home way more expensive than it was just a few years ago. And in many big cities, it's still cheaper to rent than to buy. Gurus who say real estate is a sure thing are ignoring the massive price run-ups that have already locked a lot of people out. They also forget to mention that a house isn't a liquid asset and you can't pay a grocery bill with your home equity. And what's worse, Kiyosaki has a long history of predicting the biggest stock market crash in history while telling people to pour their money into hard assets like silver and real estate. This kind of fear-mongering pushes people towards one specific type of investment, completely ignoring the proven power of diversification and the historical growth of the stock market. What's the solution? Run the numbers and stay flexible. Instead of just blindly following the buy at all costs mantra, you need to be the financial analyst for your own life. Get on a rent versus buy calculator. These tools actually factor in the current interest rates, property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. All the boring stuff that gurus conveniently leave out. In many cases, you will discover that in 2026, renting and investing the difference in a low-cost, simple index fund will build your net worth faster and with a lot less risk than buying an overpriced house. And if you think you might move for a better job in the next few years, renting keeps you flexible, and that flexibility is an asset itself. The new rule isn't to never buy, it's buy when it makes mathematical sense for you. So stop treating home ownership like a religion and start treating it like what it is, a major financial decision that requires cold, hard analysis. Next up, we have the high priest of personal finance radio, Dave Ramsey. His baby steps have helped millions of people, and there is a real value in the program's simplicity. His most famous step is the debt snowball. You list your debts from smallest to largest and attack the little one first, no matter the interest rate. The logic is purely psychological. He says getting that quick win gives you the momentum to keep going. It feels good, and Ramsey's whole brand is built on this idea that personal finance is 80% behavior and 20% head knowledge. He basically thinks you can't handle the math, so he gives you a feel-good plan. But feelings don't pay interest, and in 2026, the feel-good plan is costing you a fortune. The debt snowball is mathematically the wrong way to do it. Period. Let's say you have a $500 bill at 0% interest and a $5,000 credit card screaming at 24%. Ramsey tells you to throw your extra cash at the $500 bill and While you're doing that, the $5,000 balance is exploding, raking up hundreds of dollars in interest you never had to pay. The cost of this is huge, and by ignoring interest rates, you are literally choosing to give more of your money to banks. On a typical $30,000 debt loan, the debt snowball can easily cost you $1,000 more in interest compared to the alternative. That's a holiday that won't happen. An emergency fund are a huge investment you just set on fire for a quick win. On top of that, Ramsey's advice to pay off all debt before you seriously invest is a relic. He's telling you to miss out on years of compound growth in your retirement accounts just to pay off a 4% car loan. The math just doesn't work. So, what's the solution? The new rule is simple. Follow the math. It's called the debt avalanche. You list your debts by highest interest rate first. Pay the minimums on everything else and throw every single spare dollar at the debt with the highest interest rate. And when it's gone, you roll that entire payment onto the next one. It might not feel as fast at first, but it guarantees you save the most money and get out of debt sooner. And you need to invest while you're doing this. A good rule is to aggressively attack any debt over 6 to 8% interest while also investing enough to get your full employer match in your 401k. That much is 100% return on your money, and giving that up to pay down a 5% loan is financial suicide. So stop letting gurus who talk down to you cost you money. You can handle the math. Our final myth comes from a whole generation of financial gurus. It's the philosophy of scarcity. It's that little voice telling you that you're broke because you buy coffee in the morning. It's the constant pressure to cut until your life is just a sad spreadsheet. This is the most dangerous myth because it feels productive. You skip the coffee, you cancel Netflix, you pack your lunch, you're making sacrifices. By the end of the month, you saved maybe $100 and nothing has really changed. That's because the scarcity gurus are making you play small. They have you obsessing over $5 questions while you're getting crushed by $50,000 questions. Think about it. You can spend hours tracking every penny to save $150, or you can spend a few hours preparing for your annual review and land a 10% raise on your $60,000 salary. That's a $6,000 a year win. That's 1,200 lattes. Just think about it. The scarcity mindset distracts you from the big wins that actually move the needle. Automating your investments, negotiating your salary, finding a higher paying job, cutting the fees on your investments accounts, and wiping out high interest debt. Because focusing on lattes is playing defense. It turns building wealth into exercise in a misery. That is a poverty mindset. A rich life isn't about counting pennies. It's about getting the big things right, automating them, and then actually enjoying your life. So, the new rule is to play offense. Stop asking, what can I cut? And start asking, how can I earn more money? Spend your energy on the big stuff. Negotiate your salary every year. Build skills that make you more valuable, especially as AI keeps changing the game. Then, set up an automated financial system. Have a chunk of your paycheck automatically sent to your investments, your savings, and your credit card bills before you even see it. This makes saving your default settings, not a chore. And once you automated the big wins, you have permission to spend guilt-free on the things you love. Buy that bloody letter, go on holidays. The goal isn't to die with the biggest pile of money, it's to live a rich life now and in the future. The old rules are broken. They were designed for a world with pensions, 3% mortgages, and jobs for life. That world is gone. In 2026, listening to advice from 90s gurus is a recipe for failure. It's time to stop. Stop thinking your house is a golden ticket. Stop using feel-good debt plans that cost you thousands. And please, stop worrying about the losses. The real way to build wealth today is to shift from a mindset of scarcity to one of earning and automation. It's about focusing on the big wins, doing the math for yourself, and building a system that works for your life, not for a guru's bottom line. If this video made you rethink your money strategy, then hit that like button and subscribe for more videos that call out bad financial advice. And let me know in the comments down below, what's the single worst piece of financial advice you've ever gotten, because it's time to start building a rich life on your own terms. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in this video right here.